lot of accelerators out there. I think the most important component is understand what the accelerator can offer and what their superpower is, right? So for instance, we run a bootcamp for accelerator managers, and we talk to like hundreds, we spend time with hundreds of accelerator managers. Is the most important component is they have to define what is their differentiation, because great founders have a lot of options. So answering your question on like when to apply or potentially what we'll look at 500, we are super specialized in user acquisition and growth. And I think we are trying to see, we're trying to capture the acceleration point, right? We're trying to see, can I help accelerate, and then are there signals that I see that this team can execute? Because if they can, and they can like take the full advantage of that, we believe this will be like a very, very good match for us. So for us, when we're evaluating, is that in the next 4 months or so, can we be helpful in your journey, right? So our superpower is a lot around like user acquisition. So do we believe that once you come in, we'll be able to help you go through the growth that you have? So as much information as you can on what are your assumptions around your customers, what are your assumptions around your user acquisition, even if it's early, what type of things you wanted to test, and how 500 can be helpful to sort of plug that in. I think it's finding that match in the application that we look for. Okay. Very often, we also pay attention to recommendations of other founders. So like if you have founders, and also I think like if you're thinking about applying for any program, it's good to see founders' experience, right? Because they can be like a very good sort of reference. So we love recommendations from our current portfolio companies. Mm-hmm. So that ended up we ended up paying a little bit more attention to some of the other, but we ended up reviewing the entire sort of stack always of all the companies that apply. So maybe I'll take a step back. After we're the first check, right, or one of the first check, or like after you have a small angel round, then you come to 500. Very often the companies raise somewhere between $1.5 million after us. We normally don't recommend you go directly to a VC, because VC tend to have certain metrics in their A round that they're looking for, right? Normally when we're designing the fundraising journey with the founders, I think there are some sort of micro funds that has maybe 30 to 70 million that they would write checks between $500,000 to like $1 million that they could participate with others in that round. So normally after our check, we would normally recommend going to people who are a little more specialized in the seed component than the traditional venture.